everyone, welcome to my channel Crochet Rainbows and Butterflies. Today we're going to learn how to crochet this mini pineapple. Now before we get started, if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to never miss a crochet tutorial. Now for this tutorial I'm using crochet hook 2.5 millimeters. You need a yarn needle and you also need a little bit of cotton to fill the pineapple. You can use any crochet yarn, but for this tutorial I'm using crochet 4-ply cotton yarn. So let's get started. We begin with a slip knot, and once you have your slip knot, you need to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Once you have your chain 6, you need to work a slip stitch in the first chain right here. Like this. Now to begin your first row, you need to chain 2, and we are going to work in this circle, and we are going to work our first puff stitch. Now for that, you yarn over once, insert your hook into the circle, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Again, yarn over, insert your hook into the circle, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We have 1, 2, 3. You work 2 more. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. The last one. Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on your hook. You need to yarn over, pull through all the loops and chain 2, 1 and 2. Now this is the first puff stitch. Now we're going to work the second one right into the circle. So you yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That's 1. You need to do this 5 times. So that's 1. Again 2. 3. 4. And 5. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on your hook. You need to yarn over, pull through all the loops and chain 2, 1 and 2. Now we're going to work one more right here in the circle. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all of them and chain 2. Now we have 1, 2, 3 puff stitches here. 1, 2 and 3. You need to work 2 more in this circle. I've completed working the 5 puff stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And now you need to join this row by working a slip stitch right on top of the first puff stitch right here. you work a slip stitch, and now you need to work a slip stitch in the next chain 2 space between the puff stitches, and we're going to work a puff stitch right here. So you chain 2 to start the next row and work a puff stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3 and 4. The first puff stitch I pull up 4 loops, because counting this, the first one, we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now you chain 2, and now you need to go directly in the next chain 2 space right here, and you work a puff stitch right into that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And chain 2. Now the next puff stitch in the next puff space, chain space right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And chain 2. Now you're left with 2 chain spaces. You need to work 2 puff stitches right into them. Now again, this row you need to have 5 puff stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and you need to join it with a slip stitch right on top of the first puff stitch right here. Now for the next row you need to work a slip stitch in the next chain space and chain 2, and now we're going to work a puff stitch right here. So that's 1, 2, 3 and 4, chain 2. Now you go to the next chain space and work a puff stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, chain 2. And you need to continue working puff stitches in the chain spaces, and you need to have a number of 5 puff stitches in this row as well. After you complete your row and you have 5 puff stitches, you need to join your row with a slip stitch right on top of the first puff stitch, and now you chain 1 and cut your yarn. You need to leave a long tail of this yarn because we are going to need to close the top of the pineapple. We're going to need this yarn. Now we're going to join the next color in the chain 2 space right here. And now you need to work a chain of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And now you need to work a single crochet in the second chain from your hook. You do not count the one that's on your hook. You count right here, that's 1 and 2. Right into the second chain, you need to work 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. 2 single crochets in the next chain. 1 and 2, 2 single crochets in the next chain, 1 and 2, and you need to work 2 single crochets in each chain. till you reach the last one, and 2 single crochets right into that, 1 and 2. Now once you've done that, you need to work a slip stitch in the same stitch, in the same chain space there. You work a slip stitch. And now you work a slip stitch into the next chain space right here. So once you've reached the next chain space, you need to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Again, you need to work 2 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. 1 and 2. And work 2 single crochets in each chain. 1, 2, in the next chain 1 and 2, the next chain 1 and 2, and here the last chain 1 and 2. Now you work a slip stitch in the same chain space first, and now you work a slip stitch in the next chain space, and again chain 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you need to continue working this pattern in each chain space that you have. So you need to have 5 of these. We've made 1, 2, this is the third one, and you will have 2 more chain spaces, so you need to make these in those chain spaces as well. After you complete working the last leaf here and the slip stitch in the same chain space of the leaf, you need to chain 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. And now you work a slip stitch in the same space right here. And now you need to chain 1 and cut your yarn. Now you need to fill it with a little bit of cotton like this. Now once you have your cotton in, you need to attach your yarn needle to the yarn tail that you had left here, and now you need to go into each of the puff stitches like this. Each of them, just get some stitches. And this is the last one here. Now once you have all of them, you need to pull it as tight as you can. And now you need to work in your ends. We've completed making the pineapple. Now you can just attach it to a keychain or a bag like this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and happy crocheting.